We all disagree with our spouse about things. And mentors, you are going to see this all the time with couples. They're going to come with two different perspectives on something, sometimes wildly different perspectives. And as mentors, we want to show respect and we want to show caring. And so it's important to validate both perspectives. And we also sometimes need to reframe the conversation in a different way, and I'll explain what I mean. So I have 5 ways to help you both validate and to reframe a conversation. Validate both perspectives. One couple, Michael and Jennifer, were over at our house, sitting in our living room, and sitting across from my wife and I. And Michael wanted to spend time with his friends, yet his wife didn't like that because she felt rejected by that and that he didn't care about her. So what do you say? Well, they have 2 different perspectives. And you say, well, it sounds like the 2 of you disagree about how much time you spend together or spend apart. Is that right? And oftentimes just stating a problem that simply helps them to focus upon the issue. Okay, second one, validate the positive. It's so easy to get lost in not understanding that there's positive inside the relationship because couples get so focused on what they disagree about. So for example, let's say that he likes to spend time outside and he wants her to do some outdoor activities, but she's much happier staying at home. And so they're both feeling disconnected about it. You know, what do you say? You could say something like, wow, it sounds like both of you really want to spend time together, but you're disagreeing on what activities you should do together. Is that right? Put it in relationship terms. It can help to reframe the conversation away from my issue or your issue and into what is it doing to your relationship. So let's say that he wants to stay up late at night and he wants to watch TV and she wants to go to bed. So he's feeling that she's criticizing him because he not recognizing his need for some downtime, and she feels rejected. And so you could say something like, wow, it sounds like you're both feeling disrespected and maybe a little rejected, and you're not agreeing on how much time to invest in your relationship or what those activities should be. Is that right? And it could just be by focusing on the relationship aspect rather than the watching TV or going to bed. They could find other ways to build their connection, or they could compromise on the staying up late at night. But put it inside of relationship terms. Shift the focus to action. It's easy to get really discouraged because we look at the negative and we don't think there's anything that can be done, and you can feel stuck. So let's say they're both feeling stuck and they just feel like there's no hope. And you could just say something simple like, is there one small step that you could do that would help to improve things over the next week? And sometimes just shifting into kind of action thinking helps them to not be stuck so much. Change the conclusions. It's so easy to come to sometimes conclusions that might not be accurate. And sometimes you as a mentor can see something else and help to reframe their conclusions and to think about it as a new perspective. So let's suppose he's always trying to change her mind and he wants to get his point across. And she feels that he's not listening. So neither one of them is really listening to each other. You could say something like, you know what I'm hearing is that it's important for both of you to feel understood. And you're really motivated that you care about each other. And, is it possible you're just not listening very well, but you could use that care and that motivation to help learn some new listening techniques. What do you think about that? And it could be that, again, finding a good intent, but giving them motivation to go, yeah, you're right. It's probably the techniques we're using, not the fact that we want to be understood. We both want to be understood. So change the conclusions. So my 3 tips. 1, validate both perspectives. Be sure that you're hearing both of their thoughts and their feelings and that they're feeling cared for and respected. 2, find the positive. Sometimes it's just a desire or an intent and the rest of it gets kind of lost in our execution, and maybe there's some poor behaviors. So find what the good intent is. And then 3, focus on the emotions under the behaviors. A lot of times our behaviors are motivated by deep insecurities or fear, or maybe something that isn't happening, but we think it might. What are the emotions underneath that? And it's a lot easier to be softer with your spouse when they have insecurities in their emotions. So 3 tips: validate both perspectives, find the positive, and explore the emotions under the behavior.